Well, hello there and welcome back to my channel, or of course welcome to my channel if you're new. If you are new, then hello, lovely to meet you. My name is Alex, and if you are new here, make sure you stick around and subscribe. If you're not new and you've been here for a while, then why not make sure that notification bell is switched on just so you're notified of every single time that I upload. Now for today's video, I have a super exciting one because we are going to be testing out the Snow White collection. This is by I Heart Revolution. As you know, they have done Cinderella, Tiana, Beauty and the Beast, they've done Ariel, they've done Jasmine, and now they've come out with Snow White and Sleeping Beauty. Today's review is going to be on all of the Snow White collection, and tomorrow will be Sleeping Beauty, so get excited for that. So the standard collections for the princesses have been a face and eye palette, a separate highlighter, and also a lip topper. But because this is obviously Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, I Heart Revolution have done a separate palette for the Seven Dwarfs. I'm sorry. How cute is this packaging? Oh my goodness. This is so exciting because they've never done anything sort of different for the collection, and the Sleeping Beauty is not super different, but there is like difference in the lip products. So if you'd like to see a review on the whole of the Snow White collection, then please keep watching. Okay, so firstly we have the Snow White face and eye palette. This retails for £15, and as always you get one side with face powders and the other side as an eyeshadow palette. So this is what the Snow White palette looks like. You get the 3 blushes, 3 highlighters, and then the eyeshadow palette. Definitely let me know what you think of this colour story. There's obviously, for this one, you have the iconic blue, red and yellow, and then you have some other colours in here like greens and neutrals and black, and some beautiful shimmers. So that's the main palette. Then you have the Seven Dwarfs palette, and this retails for £8. I have actually already done a little mini tutorial on this, which I will insert in this video. But this is what the little Seven Dwarfs palette looks like, which I think is just honestly the perfect kind of everyday palette. And all of the shade names are the Seven Dwarfs, which I'm just obsessed with. Then of course you have your separate highlighter, which costs £8. And again, this is in the little cardboard packaging. You just pull it open, and this is the shade. Love the fact the pan is an apple, and the shade for this I think is kind of an icy gold reflect. We're definitely gonna test that out. I'm not 100% sure though. And then of course we have to finish off with a beautiful lip topper. I'm obsessed with these, and this one is a beautiful red shade. Look how stunning that is. Love it. So let's just get straight on into it. We're firstly going to be testing out the single highlighter. So because there's highlighters in the face palette as well, I'm just going to apply this to one side, and then I'll try another one for the other side. Now the formula of these highlighters haven't been that great. They did improve so much so with the Ariel, and especially the Jasmine one. But as you can see, there is a lot of fallout already. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this is nicely pigmented. Look how beautiful this is. Oh my goodness. The formula is exactly like the Jasmine and Ariel ones. They're a lot more smoother on the skin. They are a little bit powdery, but when you actually apply it on the skin, they are stunning and blinding. I love the shade of this. This is probably my favourite one out of all of the princesses, just because the shade suits my skin tone the most. And yeah, I'm really happy with this. So if you've got a fair skin tone like me, you're going to love this highlighter. Next we're going to dive into the face and eye palette. I'm going to take some shades from this face palette right here. So this is what they look like up close. You have a kind of an ice one that's quite similar to the single one actually. I don't know if they should have changed this one up. You have a purpley toned, and you have a champagne-y shade. Then you have these beautiful blushes here. I'd say the face palette has nice blushes for a lot of skin tones, but this is not really that inclusive, I don't think. Especially when you've already got an icy highlighter for the single one. I feel like they could have improved on the highlighters in this palette. Just going to take a different brush from my other side, and I'm going to take fairest of them all, which is this highlighter here. Okay, so this is the highlighter from the face palette, and again, I'd say it has a nice formula like this one. I do feel like though this one is just a tiny bit more blinding than this one. This one's a lot more glowy, so if you're not into your super blinding highlighters, because I know they're not for everyone, then the highlighters in the face palette you actually might like, because I feel like that's quite soft. The shade is beautiful, definitely for a fair skin tone. I definitely don't think the highlighters in here are extremely inclusive. The blushes are, but not the highlighters, which is such a shame. The blushes in here are absolutely beautiful, I must say. I am going to take the lightest one in here though. This is called Magic Mirror. Okay, now we've tested out the face side, we are going to move on to the eyeshadow palette. This is what it looks like up close. The colour story I feel like actually fits in very well with the Snow White theme, so I'm very impressed with the colour story of this. I am quickly going to swatch the eyeshadow palette, then I'll be back and we can do the eye look. Okay, so these are the swatches of the eyeshadow palette. Same as always with these palettes, they're not the best quality. I feel like it's the way they're pressed in the pan, especially this blue. It didn't really swatch very well. The white was actually very pigmented. I was quite impressed with that. And some of the shimmers, some of them are hardly pressed, whereas some of them are actually more easier to swatch. So you get a bit of a mix of the formulation in this palette. The colour story is really pretty and I can't wait to create a look with this, so let's get into it. Okay, so off of camera I've just primed my eyes. I used my Revolution Super Base. Been really loving this recently. Now because obviously the theme is Snow White, I kind of do want to do a Snow White themed eye look. I know probably everyone's going to do that, but I want to do that too. I'm going to grab the yellow in the palette, which is called Still a Kiss, and I'm going to pop this at the very front of my lid. The shades are very fallout-y, but it was really nice and pigmented for a yellow. I'm next going to take Apple, which is the red in the palette, and I'm going to blend that next to the red. The yellow and red should blend together quite nicely because they make orange in the middle. Look at me, my primary colours. I'm just going to take a little bit of Poison, which is this one here, and I think I'm going to use that to blend at the very top edges of them both to see if I can create some sort of blend. Okay, there isn't really a light pink. I mean, pink doesn't really fit in with the theme, but there's not really a light red or anything, or an orange to blend this out. So I'm just going back in with my brush just to blend out the top edges of that red, so there's not really a harsh line there anymore. Do you see what I mean? Like, we don't really need that orange in the middle because they blend together really nicely. I'm going to take a little bit of Single Bite, which is the black in the palette. Now, I mean a tiny bit because I actually didn't want the black, I wanted the brown, but then I realised it was a shimmer shade. So, I'm just going to take a little bit of the black. Just dabble that in my outer corner, just so we've got a little bit of depth there. I've literally added the tiniest amount, but I do feel like it's made that tiny bit of difference, so I have that depth at the outer corner. Now we're going to take a shimmer. Because Snow White is yellow, red and blue, I'm going to save the blue for the lower lash line, so I'm going to take Huntsman, which is this gold here, and I'm going to apply that at the front of my lid. Okay, despite these shimmers being hardly pressed, it's actually applied like really pigmentedly. You know what I'm trying to say. It's very pigmented basically. I'm really impressed with that. And now I'm going to take Red as a Rose, which is this red shimmer right here. And we're just going to take a tiny bit of that on the outer corner so it looks a little bit more blended. Then for the lower lash line, I'm going to take Evil Queen, which is the matte blue in the palette. Now, this wasn't pigmented on my arm, so let's see if it applies nicely on the eye. Yeah, so it's not the most like pigmented blue I've ever tried. It definitely gives you a nice wash of that colour. It's quite a powdery blue sort of shade. It's not as dark as it looks in the pan, but you do get that nice blue effect. This is definitely a very random look, but I feel like the colours go with the Snow White theme, so you know, I had to do it. And then for my inner corners and brow bone, of course I'm going to take the shade Snow White, which is this one, which is a beautiful bright icy sort of champagne-y shade. Okay guys, so this is my completed look with the Snow White palette. I'm now going to hop off camera. I'm just going to put some lashes and mascara on. Then we can quickly go over the Seven Dwarfs palette and then we'll test out the lip topper. So be right back. Okay, so I'm back and my eye look is now complete. So for my lashes, I used my Roxy and Revolution lashes. They were just easy. Just pulled them out from my drawer. They were the first ones that I saw. And then my mascara is the Benefit Bad Gal Bang mascara. But this is the completed eye look with the lashes. Let me know down below what you think. I think I'm just going to do the lip topper now and then I can go on to the Seven Dwarfs palette. So this is the lip topper. It is a beautiful red shade because obviously Snow White has amazing red lips. Let me just check how much this is. This only costs £5 and honestly these are amazing. If this is as good as all the other ones, I'm going to be super happy because I love the lip toppers from this collection. I am just going to apply it directly to my lips, see how pigmented it is. Okay, so this is the lip topper. Obviously, because it's a lip topper, it's not as super pigmented like a liquid lipstick. But if you're just looking for like a little wash of a red colour on your lips, I definitely recommend this. I know red is sometimes a bit too daring for people, but I don't feel like this is in your face red. It's actually a very stunning red and it would look gorgeous over the top of a like matte red lipstick or liquid lipstick to just like elevate it. I love the colour. As I said, I love these toppers. For £5, they're a bargain and I highly recommend these. And just to let you know, the formula feels amazing. It feels super hydrating, it feels really comfortable, it doesn't feel super heavy or anything like that. They are just honestly so good for the price. Okay, so finally onto the Seven Dwarfs palette. So this is what it looks like. It is just so cute, I love it. And again, a reminder of what the inside looks like. This is a very neutral, everyday sort of palette. I am just going to quickly do some swatches and I'll dive into the tutorial. I did pre-film a little mini tutorial with this palette just so I was reviewing the whole collection in one video. So let's get into the swatches. Okay, so these are the swatches for the palette. I do feel like this palette is a little bit better quality than the big one. I don't know why, but the shimmers just feel a little bit nicer and I like how pigmented the mattes are in here. If you are a neutral person's lover, you are definitely going to love this palette. There's no two ways about it and I actually really enjoyed the palette when I used it. Okay, so I'm taking my super base and I'm applying that to my lids because honestly this is such a good base. I'm really enjoying it. This is the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs palette. Look how cute it is. I absolutely love the shade selection in here. So I'm firstly taking the shade Dark and I'm putting that all in my crease. Then I'm taking a bit of Dopey. I think this is a little bit of a slight shimmer, but it still worked to blend out the top edges, which I was very impressed about. Then I'm taking the shade Sneezy and I'm applying that to my inner and outer corners and I'm just blending that in my crease. Going back in with Doc just to blend out the top edges as well. Then I'm going in with Bashful on the middle of my lids, and then because I thought it was a bit too dark, I went in with Happy just in the very, very centre of my lid to make it pop. Then I went back in with Sneezy all over my lower lash line, and then in with Sleepy, beautiful shade in my inner corner and brow bone. So this is the finished look, very, very easy and simple. This is my completed look with the lashes. Pretty sure they are Roxy lashes with the Maybelline Sky High mascara again. Look at my brow bone highlight, how stunning. I absolutely love this palette. Very, very good quality, and for £8 I don't think you can go wrong, so I'm very, very impressed. Okay, so that was a tutorial on the mini palette. Now we can finally sit down and round up all of my thoughts and opinions on the Snow White collection. I actually think I Heart Revolution have nailed it on the head with this one. I feel like the colour story is extremely relevant to the Disney princess. I feel like the topper, again, exactly like the princess. The blushes are beautiful. The highlighters are also beautiful as well. I just wish there was a little bit more inclusivity with the highlighters. The single highlighter, I would 100% reach for that on, you know, a very regular basis. The shade is beautiful for a fair skin tone, and the quality is really nice on it as well. I do feel like the face side in this palette is good quality as well. I think the blushes were nice and pigmented. The highlighter on this one is nicely pigmented. It's just not as much as this one. So this one is a little bit more glowy. This one is like a tiny bit more blinding. This is more of what I like. The quality of the eyeshadows, I mean, are not horrendous. Like, you can see the pigmentation on my eyes. The blue was just like a little bit disappointing. However, the shimmers in this palette really surprised me. I think the yellow gold shade applied very, very easily and pigmented, and same for the inner corner and brow bone shade, very, very pigmented. So it's only really the blue shade that let me down today. Apart from that, every other shade on my eye was very decently pigmented. I do feel like they improve on the princesses each time. Like, this collection is far better than, say, the first three that they come out with. I feel like they're listening to us. We want better quality. We want less of the chalky powderiness and more of the blindingness and pigmentation, and I feel like they did give that with this collection. I think it's such a nice touch to have the 7 Dwarfs palette, so I'm thoroughly impressed with this Snow White collection. I'm going to wrap this video up here. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please let me know by smashing the thumbs up button. Let me know down below your thoughts on this collection, because I would love to know. Obviously, I have reviewed every princess up to date, barring the Sleeping Beauty, but that'll be tomorrow. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this particular collection. Do you agree with me? Do you think this is much better than, say, the first few? Do you not? Are you going to pick it up? Are you not? Just let me know down below and we can have a little conversation. And of course, if you haven't already, please subscribe down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!